Good morning! I give you a second here, wipe your tears away. Alright, look, I ain't getting on here yelling and screaming today. I got important things I gotta do later today, and I can't be on here yelling and screaming and getting myself all worked up. Really, there's no need to. It's literally this simple. The Florida Gators are losing 5 games this year. They're losing 5 games. Yeah, I know what you're saying. They swept the East last year. You know, they won the East. Look, listen. It's not happening this year. I don't know what else to tell you. Don't shoot the messenger. UNCLELOU's not the only one that feels this way either. And you say, well, 5 games? How are they going to lose no 5 games, UNCLELOU? Here. Write this down. I'm going to start with this one. The Florida Gators are losing to Tennessee this year. I know, 11, 12 years in a row, Tennessee can't get out of their own way. Look, all that's true. Tennessee going down this year too, but that's a different story for a different day. I'm talking about Florida today. Not only is Florida losing to Tennessee this year, and this is something I've been saying for months, Florida, you're getting mollywopped by Tennessee. Tennessee is beating Florida by at least 17 points. 17! Write it down, save the video, make a mental note, whatever you need to do. And look, the reason is simple. That's Tennessee's World Series this year. That's their World Series, that's the NBA Finals and the Super Bowl and the Arena League Championship wrapped up into one for the Tennessee Vols. They're beating Florida in Knoxville at Neyland Stadium this year by at least 17 points. There's your one loss right there. Now let's go on through the list here. Now, obviously, you're losing to UGA. Yeah, you beat us 2 years in a row with Trayon Harris, which is embarrassing. Cost a man his job, too. So thank you, Florida, for that. That was a blessing in disguise. You should have done to Georgia what we did to Florida a couple of years ago. Remember a couple of years ago, Will Muschamp's last year? We let y'all beat us just so we were hoping against hope that you would keep Will Muschamp. That didn't work, but you should have tried that last year. You should have purposely lost the game. And maybe the preacher man would still be in Georgia and you'd have a chance to beat us this year. But facts are facts. He hit I-95 South till it ends. We brought Kirby Smart in. You're losing this year. You're not beating UGA. That's loss number 2. Loss number 3. This is no surprise to UNCLELOU. LSU. You're losing to LSU, which is what you normally do. LSU is beating you. That's happening. Write that down now. There's your 3rd loss right there. Now, the one that you really hate. Actually, let's say that for the end. This one might surprise you. Doesn't surprise me. Florida, you're losing to Vanderbilt. Florida is losing to Vanderbilt this year. I am not trolling. That's my official prediction. I have been saying Vanderbilt's going to beat one of the top 3 teams this year. It's going to be Florida. Vanderbilt is beating Florida. Vanderbilt, in fact, is finishing 4th in the SEC East this year, 1 spot ahead of the Gators. That's right. Vanderbilt is finishing 4th in the SEC East. That means Florida's finishing 5th if you're keeping score at home like you're supposed to do. Now, the last loss. Now, this loss here is part of your current streak, what you have, Florida. You're losing to Florida State again. You're owned right now by Jimbo Fisher and Florida State. There's nothing you can do. They're going to dominate and humiliate you like they did last year. Maybe you'll get a safety and a couple of field goals. I don't know. 8's about the best you can do against them. That's a given. You are, listen, you're on a 3-game losing streak. You've embarrassed the SEC with your performance against Florida State and your no-show in the bowl game against Big Mouth Jim Harbaugh, which is another story for another day. I can't stand that man. I hate him. I do not like Jim Harbaugh, but the bottom line is, Florida, you embarrassed the SEC. You're on a 3-game losing streak. You've lost your last 3 games by like 100 points or something. If you add them up, you got mollywopped by Florida State and Michigan. You lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game. And in 2016, your Florida Gators are going 7-5. Woo!